Mars has long been the subject of human interest. A human mission to Mars has been the subject of science fiction, aerospace engineering, and scientific proposals since the 19th century. The plans comprise proposals to land on Mars, eventually settling on and terraforming the planet, while utilizing its moons, Phobos and Deimos. There were lots of debates about the colonization of Mars. This idea is well developed in science fiction as well. While NASA thinks that missions to make Mars habitable should start after 2030, Elon Musk has different plans. On the official website of SpaceX they say, "Our aspirational goal is to send our first cargo mission to Mars in 2022. The objectives for the first mission will be to confirm water resources, identify hazards, and put in place initial power, mining, and life support infrastructure. A second mission, with both cargo and crew, is targeted for 2024, with primary objectives of building a propellant depot and preparing for future crew flights. The ships from these initial missions will also serve as the beginnings of the first Mars base, from which we can build a thriving city and eventually a self-sustaining civilization on Mars. But we won't talk about this. Today we will discuss plans of my home country Georgia. If you have never heard about it, it is one of the most beautiful countries and we make great cheese boats. Georgia is a country in the Caucasus region of Eurasia. Located at the crossroads of Western Asia and Eastern Europe, it is bounded to the west by the Black Sea, to the north by Russia, to the south by Turkey and Armenia, and to the southeast by Azerbaijan. Next time Matt Damon gets marooned on Mars, he may be whiling away his days sipping Saperavi instead of farming potatoes as he did so laboriously in the 2015 blockbuster, The Martian. Georgia, an ancient winemaking redoubt, is putting its best space science and viticulture minds together to develop grapes fit for growing on Mars. The first human colonists on Mars will have to forego many of the creature comforts of Earth. Things like enjoying an ozone layer, for example, or opting out of rearing genetically engineered Martian babies. Fortunately, one essential earthly amenity these hardscrabble colonists may not have to give up is wine. Georgia, a country with an 8,000-year-old viticulture tradition, is putting its top space and wine scientists to work figuring out how to grow grapes on Mars. The project, named 9 Millennium, ostensibly as a nod to Georgia's 9th millennium making wine, will involve several phases of research into building an agricultural infrastructure on Mars. One critical step, identifying the grape varietals on Earth best equipped to withstand the harsh radiation, fearsome dust storms and severe temperature swings of the red planet. This research could help hydrate permanent settlements on Mars as soon as 2024, the year when SpaceX founder Elon Musk intends to launch the first crewed mission there. Nicholas Doba-Urjanidze, who is the founder of Georgia's space research agency as well as an advisor for the wine project, told The Washington Post, "If we're going to live on Mars one day, Georgia needs to contribute." He went on by saying, "Our ancestors brought wine to Earth, so we can do the same to Mars." The new space wine project will kick off later this year with the installation of vertical greenhouses inside a hotel in the capital city of Tbilisi, according to Georgian news agency Agenda. There, floor-to-ceiling pods of soil and seeds, including grapes, strawberries and arugula, will be left to grow under hydroponic lights with minimal human interference, simulating the possible conditions of a controlled agriculture pod on Mars. In the meantime, Georgian wine experts are hard at work trying to figure out which grape varietals might best survive harsh Martian conditions. Over the next few years, researchers at Tbilisi's Business Technology University plan to simulate a Martian environment in the laboratory, exposing soil samples to sub-zero conditions, high carbon monoxide levels and thin air meant to mimic the atmospheric pressure at 20,000 feet, 6,000 meters, altitude on Earth, The Washington Post reported. These experiments likely will not bear fruit until at least 2022. But scientists already have a hunch that white wine will fare best on the red planet. Whites tend to be more resistant to viruses, Levin Najmajuridze, director of Georgia's Vineyard Laboratory, told The Washington Post. So, I'd imagine they'll do well against radiation, too. Their skin could reflect it. These experiments could well provide future Martians with grapevines, but the actual fermenting, bottling and aging would be up to them. Nobody knows exactly how fermenting grapes in microgravity will actually work yet, but NASA scientists think it's possible. The Georgia team's boozy experiments aren't the first foray into space agriculture. Astronauts aboard the International Space Station, ISS, have already begun growing salad crops in microgravity, while China's recently deployed Chang'e-4 lander will attempt to grow potatoes and drakras, a flowering plant similar to cabbage and mustard, on the moon. This is not a first time Georgia is sending something to the space. In 1977, NASA launched the Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 spacecrafts, carrying the famous Golden Record containing sounds and messages from Earth. The Voyager Golden Record contains 116 images and a variety of natural sounds, musical selections from different cultures and eras, and spoken greetings in 59 languages. And one of them is Georgian song, Shakrilo, which is sung at celebrations and festivals. The disc is the space equivalent of a message in a bottle, a greeting for any prospective life forms that may come across the probe. In 2013, the space probe and its golden record officially left our solar system and is now journeying through interstellar space. 40 years have passed since sending the Georgian song Shakrilo into space. You may think it is not so important, but imagine if there is life outside of our planet and we have to meet them. I think the best way to make peace and communicate with them is to have a glass of wine with great song playing in the background. What do you think we should send next to space? Maybe a cheese boat is a good option. After having a nice glass of wine you may need something to eat, and what is better than a new baked delicious boat full of cheese that can expand till the edge of the universe? That's all today. Don't forget to subscribe to get unlimited pass on our expeditions. Free up your brain and don't space out. See you next time. If you are still here, grab your knowledge and get out of my train.